Hello, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Keona, and I mainly do diamond painting content. Today, we have a WIP Chat. This is my weekly WIP Chat. I think we're on week 7 of 2023. I'm going to start this off with my purchases, but first, let's discuss why I am partially through a section and not at a new section. Well, I already recorded this once, and the audio was trash. And it turns out I don't know what went on, but I reopened my XSplit and everything is working fine. Yes, I'm now fidgeting. It happens. But let's start with my purchases real quick. I have one purchase received this week. It's right here. It was Diamond Art Club. I received Angel Roxy by Mrs. Coffee, Siblings by Ann Stokes, Bud, I believe. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's right over here. Why can't I think of it? Is that it? No, that's a mystery. It's like, no. We will not let you know what it is. Oh, Bud the Tabby Cat, because it looks just like my Hansel, except Hansel has a white chest, by Peggy Collins. And the Mystery Kit number 35 by Christopher Lavelle. That was my purchase this week that I received. I also did a purchase on Thursday for Crafty. That was Saturday. But the Crafty purchase was Thursday. They had a make it or break it sale. From what I understand, they made it. They didn't break it. So we'll get into that in the WIP Chat. I'm just going to jump into this because it has been a week of technical difficulties and they've all been audio related. You would think I would pay attention by now. Let me just zoom this in right here. You get a nice view. Let me see. Let's start with Crafty. Crafty had a make it or break it sale on Thursday. And from what I understand, they made it, but I'm not too sure. I am not part of the diamond painting community. I don't talk to people in the diamond painting community. I watch some WIP Chats, but that's about it. You know, I don't feel included, so I don't consider myself part of it. And that's all on me because I don't go out of my way to be included. If you are wondering what any of my accessories are, they are listed down below, or you can ask in the comments, because I just broke my 12 placer today. That you will see in the time lapse. I did it in the E5 grid. Halfway through it, I dropped my diamond painting pen, and it just snapped in half. I go, oh no. Oh no. It's horrible. I was upset. Because I had to get the stub, for lack of a better term, out. It's funny because you're going to see this twice in the time lapse. Actually, 3 times, technically. So, it just snapped right in half. And this bottom part is puttied into the bottom, or into the back of the pen, instead of washi tape, so it stays in nice and firm. And keeps it from rocking. And so that made it even harder to get out. Yeah. And I also sat there and I had no problem taking the putty from the 12 placer and putting it in the 10 placer. But now I feel like I have to order 12 placers because I love that 12 placer so much. It was my only one. So we're living that 10 placer life. Okay. Let's not scroll. Let's get back to topic. We were talking about Crafty. So from what I understand, they got over 1,000 orders. And they were able to pay some bills. It's going to take them a while to catch up with the orders now. But that's a good problem. That's a good problem. At least you know that they have it in stock. It is coming soon. It's like 2 people, you know, and whatever help they can get. So I'm in no rush. And honestly, if most people who bought from this make it or break it sale have stashes, and look, I may not be part of the diamond painting community, but I am real good at observing. I like paying attention to the Facebook group, even though I have nothing to do with it. I like paying attention to other Facebook groups, and I watch WIP Chats. I I lurk in lives. So I get an idea of what goes on. Just because I don't feel welcome in the diamond painting community doesn't mean that I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. But it also means that my information is not 100% true because I'm an outsider looking in. That's the thing, is a lot of people have to realize that there's a lot of outsiders looking in. Not saying anything bad about it, you know. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the diamond painting community, but it does feel like a... Where's it? It's right in front of me. The girls' version of a boys' club, if that makes sense. Yeah. Feels like a popularity contest that I'm not in the mood to deal with because I'm not in high school anymore. I did not do very well in high school. I have severe social anxiety, and I would rather sit there and feel welcome in a Twitch stream or in my own channels than try to go out of my way to be accepted by other people. So, yeah. And then I'll probably have people go, but you are part of the diamond painting community. You spend all your time in Mrs. Coffee's chat. I do. But I feel like I'm part of Mrs. Coffee's community. And even then, sometimes I don't feel like I'm a part of it. But that's my own neuroses and stuff. And we're not getting into that because I'm actually kind of glad that audio didn't work. Yeah, man. I'm telling you. It's been a week. So let's start. We talked about Thursday. Friday, it's already out of my mind. I don't remember anything. Fuck, man, I have ADHD. I don't remember shit. If it wasn't 20 years ago, I don't remember it. Isn't that weird about how you can remember something that was a year, 2 years, 5 years in full detail? But if it was last week, nope. So, Sunday, I didn't really do anything. I kind of relaxed and everything. And then Monday morning when I woke up at 4 a.m., yes, I'm still waking up at 4 a.m. or in between 4 and 5. I go, oh crap, I didn't do an unboxing. At the same time, I go, oh crap, I didn't start the time lapse. This will make sense here later on. So I go, I do the unboxing, the Love Dragons, and then while I was at it, I was like, okay, while we're here, let's go ahead and do some other unboxings. So I do the unboxing for Valentine's Kitty and I'm Not a Craft Hoarder. Those are the two I did. And then I go and I edit, I render, I upload Love Dragons, because that's what had been planned for Monday. Well, after doing all the recording, well, honestly, I did the rendering and the upload before I even started the other ones. So after doing all the recording, I left the house. I went to Georgia because I had packages to drop off. I had to drop off a package for my friend Pixel Princess. I sent her a whole bunch of extra toolkits and pens and stuff like that because she's getting into rhinestoning. And so I was like, yeah, I can send you a bunch of stuff. And then I also sent her a special gift, which she doesn't watch my WIP Chat, so I can tell you now because she's getting it today. I sent her, remember Hey Pudding? I sent that out to her because she's obsessed with Harley Quinn. Obsessed with Harley Quinn, so I threw that in the box. So she's going to get the box and be like, why is it so big? Yeah, and I can't wait for that call or that text or something from her to be like, ma'am. Because that's the way me and my friends talk to each other. It's a ma'am, woman, bish. So I did that, and I had to go to Georgia to do it because we have the drop-off for UPS at the Advanced Auto as well as the FedEx being Dollar General, and I don't like that. I don't like having to talk to people if I don't have to. And so I went to LaGrange to drop off a FedEx package for my mom, and because they have a drop box, and then I went to the UPS store there and I handed it to get a receipt, specifically to get a receipt. So I could have done that one here. I could have, but oh well. And I got me some Starbucks, and I went to Tractor Supply and got some feed for the flock at the farm, as well as for my rabbits here. Which I have some news. I'm going to just jump into that before we get back into the week. Tiny Chicken is missing, and Tiny Chicken has been missing since Sunday night. I have not been able to find Tiny Chicken, and best case scenario, somebody stole her. Worst case scenario, we have pet owners here, dog owners here, that let their dogs run the entire neighborhood, and no matter how many times I've sat there and, I've threatened to call animal control on them. I was like, it would be different if my chicken left my yard. My chicken has never left my yard, and I had things to keep my animals inside. So, and again, my animals are prey, not predators. So I ask that you just make sure you keep your dogs inside or in your yard. And these people don't care. When their dogs have to use the restroom, they just open their front door. So that's the worst case scenario, and that's all I'm going to talk about it. Because, like I said, I'm not ready to accept that she's gone yet. Because she's been missing since Sunday night, and it's now Thursday night, and I'm in denial. Let me be in denial. So, when I went to get feed, I'm like, I don't need chicken feed. I have enough chicken feed. That's why I mentioned it. But I need flock feed for the animals at the farm, and I need rabbit feed. So I did that. I already mentioned the Starbucks, because I did that first. That was my first stop. I stopped there before I even stopped at FedEx. It was Starbucks, then Tractor Supply, then FedEx. After that, straight to UPS store. And I was like, well, while I'm out here at the UPS store, right next door is a Dollar Tree. So I go into the Dollar Tree, and they have it, y'all. They have it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it is penny vinyl. Oh, do I have a box? Yes, I do. Penny vinyl. It is cheap as shit, but it'll work for everything except for what I was trying to do. It's the 2-window vinyl, not the 1 window, the 2-window vinyl. That's what you're looking for. It's a penny. So I bought them out of stock, and on my way back to, Alabama, I'm like, what if the other Dollar Tree at LaGrange has any? And jackpot, y'all. I may have gotten only like 2 I got 1 from that first Dollar Tree. I got 9 from the next Dollar Tree. So, score! And so I head back to town here, and I'm like, what about the Dollar Tree here? None. But instead, as I try to pick up this piece of trash here, instead, I got new pool noodles. I'd show you, but no. And then I cut them up. I put them on the side of my table. Everything else was all excited because of the fact that now they're wider. Let me try to show. There, let's see. I'm trying to show y'all without showing y'all my mess. So, go this way. See, they're nice and wider. They go all the way to the edge here. Now, before I had them cut perfectly in half, but I bought 3, 1 to mess up on, and 2 for good measure. The third one was for good measure, and I ended up using all 3 because I messed up on the first one. But anywho, so that was a score. Went home, set it all up, covered my entire table with crafting supplies because, of course, I got more than just vinyl, and went to bed. So I wake up 4 o'clock on Tuesday, and I go to sit down at my computer. And now is the time to edit and render the video that I had, the Valentine Kitty video for Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. Yeah, that didn't work. So what happened was half of it had audio, the other half didn't. Turns out Love Dragon's audio was all done on my headset. And halfway through Valentine Kitty, there we go, by Puffy Gator, halfway through that, I saw my mic was on, and I just decided to turn it off for some reason or another. And that was the mic it was using and not my lapel mic. So I wasted battery on my lapel mic. And then also, yeah. So the audio was dead. And I go, oh no. So I go to I'm Not a Craft Hoarder, that video. No audio. I go, oh no. So I scramble real quick to record Valentine Kitty all over again. Get that out. And now I am recording I'm Not a Craft Hoarder as a Saturday release. You'll get that tomorrow. And then I go, well, now I need an unboxing for next week because I can't do I'm Not a Craft Hoarder now because it was already unboxed. So you got a re-unboxing. What am I going to do? And I'm looking and I'm staring at Cosmic Trip at this exact moment. I'm like, that's it. We're doing Cosmic Trip. That's the one we're doing. Let's go. So I get Cosmic Trip out, unbox it, everything else. Everything's fine and dandy. And I'm sitting there telling myself, okay, you need to do the intro to Magic Potion time lapse week 3 or week 5. Did I do it? No. No. So Wednesday rolls along. I go to render and put out. Oh, I did the kit up video. That's what I did. Sorry. Tuesday I did the recording for the kit up, Bubbles kit up, and I stayed up late like I am right now. Right now it's after 10. That's late for me. Come on, I've been waking up at 4. What do you expect? So I go and I render, or I go and I do the Bubbles video. And while I'm doing the Bubbles video, I have an argument with the vinyl, that cheap vinyl that I just showed you, that penny vinyl. It doesn't work with my transfer tape because my transfer tape's too good. So I'm fighting it the whole way. I finished the video. And I go to bed. At this point, I'm up late. I can't, yeah. So, Wednesday comes around, I don't wake up at 4. I wake up at 8. Oh crap. My video was supposed to be out at 8, because that's the time I give myself, that's the deadline I give myself. And it's not even rendered. So I get up, and I start rendering. Nothing. I have so many corruption issues. The video was completely corrupted, and I'm just losing my mind. And I'm like, how am I going to fix this? Besides re-recording. And it wasn't the time-lapse, it was the outro. So I could have freaking, it's the final thoughts section. So I could have recorded it, but no. So I'm fiddling. I get a message about 11 saying no video. And it's like, I'm working on it. I get the video out at 1. At 1 p.m. with broken footage at all. I had to clip out a section and put broken footage right there because of the fact that's what made it not render. And I was able to pinpoint it down to that point, be able to get the video out, and I'm telling you, I am a dumpster fire. A dumpster fire at this point. Oh, man. So I'm still worried because I haven't edited I'm Not a Craft Hoarder or Cosmic Trip. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my table. My table is a disaster because I ended up doing Bubbles kit up and all that because I had to clean off the table for that. And my side table, which sits right next to me, which you'll never see, is a complete disaster right now because that's where everything got piled to when I did that. What are you? Why is a purple thing sitting in my trash or right in front of me? So I go ahead. Wednesday, I get the video out 1 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, I need to record the time-lapse intro. Yes, something I normally record either Saturday night or Sunday morning, usually Sunday morning. I didn't record until Wednesday night. And then I did a section for that. So today I wake up. We're up to Thursday, yay! Today I wake up. And I'm looking at the section, and I'm looking at E5 specifically, and I'm like, I gotta do another whole row of sections. We're coming down to our last column. This is what I'm saying to myself, because the 6th column is the last thing that's taped off. I'm like, well, what if I do that thing with the bubbles kit up, but try all over again for here? And then I can go ahead and test all the vinyls. So from about 5 a.m. to about 10 a.m., I am testing vinyls. And this is where I'm finding things don't work, and da-da-da. And finally I get to, okay, we're just going to use the Cricut vinyl, even though it's expensive as shit. We're just going to use the Cricut vinyl. Because I already have it open, and I want to do this now. I'm hooked on this. I want this done now. So I put some Tech Wrap vinyl in my Amazon cart. I put some Oracle vinyl in my Amazon cart, because TikTok swears by those two. And I went ahead, and I labeled these. But I'm like, oh crap, it's 1 o'clock. Okay, sorry. I jumped ahead. So, 11 o'clock comes around. I am fighting an allergy headache. If y'all didn't know, I'm on prescription medication for allergies, and we have had warm days the past 2 days, which my body doesn't like. And so I think there's like something with tree pollen. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't science on the daily. Actually, I do mess with chemistry sometimes. But anywho, I'm not a science person. Okay? So, 1 second. I had to get a little sip of coffee. So I go ahead. I'm fighting this migraine. 11 o'clock, I decide to lay down. I wake up. It's not even noon. I set an alarm for noon. It's like 10 till noon. But the headache's dulled down a little bit. I'm still fighting it right now. It's horrible. But dulled down enough to function. So I'm like waking myself up. Like, okay, you slept enough today. You don't need to be napping during the day. Get up. So I got up. And I'm looking at Magic Potion. I go, I want to work on you. I want to work on you. And then I realize I go to look at my content calendar. Y'all don't see this because of the fact that it's a private document I have for myself that is my release calendar. What I plan to release. And I did it on a spreadsheet. Why not an actual calendar? Because that requires too much commitment and I have ADHD. Okay? So I look at my content calendar. I'm supposed to put out a D20 video today. I haven't put out a D20 video in 10 days. Last time was February 6th. And I go, oh, fuck me. I was not happy, so I pull out everything. I'm looking all over the place for my lapel mic. Cannot find it. Cannot find it. Welcome to ADHD. I sat there, I looked in the paint gym box, I looked in the D20 box, I looked in Magic Potion boxes, I looked in my diamond painting tool boxes, I looked everywhere. Could not find it. All I could find is this piece right here, which plugs into my phone. It's the USB-C. This is a different lapel mic than what I'm using right now. Cannot find it anywhere. So I go ahead, I just record using my phone mic, no problem, not a big deal. Whatever. Get the intro recorded at the roll and all that, then sit down and start placing drills. I had to get up within 5 minutes of starting to place drills because of something or another. And as I get up, there it is in my face, the lapel mic. And then I remember the exact interaction that got me to this point. Last time I recorded with that lapel mic, I clipped it to the camera. That camera. That one. Because it gives it the best volume, the best audio, and I figured when I turned it off, I go, okay, if I keep it here, I will remember it's here, and I won't lose it. Welcome to ADHD, y'all. Welcome to ADHD. Did I remember it was there? No. Does the logic make sense? 100%. So I'm telling my buddy this, and they're like, why don't you just write everything down? Like, when you have an idea like that, write it down. And I go, but then I have to remember to write it down. But I'm sitting there going, that's a fucking good idea. And this person helps me a lot with ideas. Like, I'm that in the wrong ball. Anyway, is always trying to help me with my ADHD, with my content, everything else. It's always good to have another head to help you. And I was like a memory journal? Like, because yeah. And I'm like, huh. So I need to start doing that. I need to make a journal and just write down things. Like, I put my keys here because this made sense. Because that's the thing. And it even goes down to this right here. If you don't know what this is the battery to my recording light. The secondary battery. I looked all over the place for that when I went to go start recording. Found it about 10 minutes later on my diamond painting table. My one that I told you is a mess. I done buried it. I go, that kind of makes sense. I go to diamond paint, I'm going to record, it's right there where I need it. Too much sense, and it pisses me off. So I go put the battery on the light. The light has 2 batteries. Yeah. If you're guessing that there was already a battery on the light, you are correct. You are correct. I go, oh my god, what is with me today? And I shoved that in my back pocket, and then I started recording. And then everything else happened. And now we're here. Hi, guys. Hi. So, I've also been told recently that when I talk about my ADHD, that's trauma dumping. No, it's not. I will fight you right now and tell you it is not trauma dumping. I am not on ADHD medication. I am diagnosed with combined ADHD. You don't know what that is inattentive and hyperactive. So I got it twice as bad. Meaning I can either hyperfocus or not focus, if that makes sense. They fight each other, yet they work together. They hate each other, but they hate me more. Does that make sense? And there's a lot of people right now who don't have their ADHD medications. So right now, they're running low. They're getting to the point to where either they have to ration. That's what I meant to say. Ration their ADHD meds or just not take them at all. I know a lot of people who are rationing them for work and stuff. Me, I haven't had a real job since I was 18. I don't count Uber and Amazon Flex as a real job. My husband does, but I don't. Like, I've tried to get jobs, but I have social problems, so I know I'm going to end up... I think I sabotaged the application or something. I don't know. I'm like an expert at self-sabotaging without realizing it. So, I haven't had a job since I was 18. So, I've never really needed to focus. And when I was working, when I was 18... I was either doing income taxes. Actually, I think I had a job when I was 19, yeah. But anyway, I haven't had a job since I had kids. That's better. So, when I was working before, I didn't really have to deal with people. Yes, at Macy's and Hickory Farms, I had to deal with people, but I worked at Macy's during the holidays and Hickory Farms during the holidays. And oh my god, ADHD is a superpower in those situations. You can fight me all day long, but they're fucking superpowers. So, I've never needed to focus, and in school, I was always masking, and I was actually interested in a lot of things, so I would hyper-focus on things, and I would just never do schoolwork and never do homework, but I tested extremely well. So, it was never noticed, because girls are excellent at masking. Like, probably the best at masking their ADHD symptoms without even realizing it, because I'm a people pleaser. That was way too much. So, yeah. So, getting to my point, I can get to a point, can I? There's a lot of people who are now experiencing going without their ADHD meds for the first time as adults. And a lot of it is overdiagnosis, because everybody thinks they have ADHD. If I didn't grow up my entire life this way and then finally understood it because of the fact of, therapist, I didn't opt in for getting myself diagnosed. I had friends, and not just one, for the past, year, if not longer, telling me, you should really look into a diagnosis for ADHD. It's affecting your everyday life. Like, I cannot function as a human being. If you looked at my studio, you'd be like, holy cow. Yeah. And so I had a lot of people pressure me into getting diagnosed, and it's when they stopped pressuring me when I actually went to go do it. And when they said combined, I was like, oh, I thought I just had the squirrel version, which is inattentive. They're like, no, you have combined really, really bad. And so they also sat there and said I may have anxiety and depression, which I know I have anxiety, but I don't think I have depression. But that's besides the point. So, look at me arguing with therapists. They can't treat me because they're not licensed in Alabama. I'm thinking about going up to Atlanta and going to see an ADHD specialist, and that way being properly diagnosed. I mean, I am properly diagnosed, but you know what I mean. Like, get proper treatment and everything for it. Somebody who specializes in it. But back to the point, is there's a lot of people, because of TikTok's a big culprit, people start resonating with these people on TikTok that have ADHD, and they're like, oh, I forget things sometimes. Sometimes I can't find my keys and they're in my own hands. I must have ADHD, and they're going to these therapists, and they're looking at the questionnaires. Because if you didn't know, ADHD diagnosis starts with a questionnaire. And if you're not 100% honest, you can easily get diagnosed with one or the other. You have to know what symptoms you're looking for. And so a lot of people have been diagnosed with inattentive ADHD. It's not the hyperactive they're getting diagnosed with, it's the inattentive one. Because, oh, I lose my keys. I can't keep focused on something when something else is going on in the background. I don't know a lot of people who can. You know? And it's like a 1 through 10. Not 1 through. It's a 1 through 5 marker. Like, if you're in a quiet room and you hear tapping outside the door that could be on the other side of the building, rate how distracted you are by that tapping from 1 to 5. The inattentive ADHD answer is 5. Actually, it's a scale from 3 to 5. And a lot of people will sit there and just say 5 automatically. Like, oh, I'm distracted. Like, but are you distracted to where that's all you hear? You will never be able to focus on what you're doing. So it's now made it to a point to where between overdiagnosis and abuse, because people do abuse the medication, and some issues with some supply, I don't know at all, something about cleaning facilities and contamination and everything. I'm not going to really go into that because I don't know much about it. I know just a little bit, and again, I read it off the internet, so I'm not going to sit there and be a be-all expert about what happened. But, you know, according to some sources, there's been some issues with the supply in general, and that the FDA and DEA won't approve an increase in certain manufacturers to, you know, an increase in production. And this is from what is said on the internet. And so now there are shortages all over the country, and it's not just Adderall and Ritalin anymore. Sam, at any time, I can take her to the doctor and get a prescription for Vyvanse. That was her medication. Which normally when you have ADHD, you go through a cycle of medication testing, and that was our 3rd or 4th one for Sam. Basically, if Vyvanse didn't work, next bet was Ritalin and Adderall. Or Adderall, then Ritalin. Ritalin's the last one in the chain, right? And so she got Vyvanse, and like I said, all I have to do is take her to her doctor to get the prescription because she's been diagnosed for years now. But I couldn't if I wanted to. Being in a small town, it's hard to find prescriptions in the first place. So when you add the fact that there's actually a national shortage of said prescriptions, and it's even down to not just Ritalin and Adderall anymore, it's Vyvanse and the others. I couldn't tell you the others' names for the life of me because we went through her going through the medication cycle, the treatment plan cycle where you're trying to figure out the treatment plan. We went through that several years ago. She was diagnosed in 1st grade. She's now in high school. Okay? and she was diagnosed with inattentive. But she has been off medication since 4th grade, 4th or 5th grade. And again, it was after we went through and we learned the tools to get her off medication, because I didn't like the way she was on it. She was a robot. She was just, it takes away a lot of what her personality is. And yes, I 100% believe that ADHD can be your personality. It's part of mine. It really is. And I didn't like the fact that she wasn't my Sam. But that's why we went through the process of getting her weaned off the medication and onto behavioral treatment. But we had a roommate, or a set of roommates, that I got her prescription filled, and it's a 30-day prescription, and it's supposed to last her only school days. So it should last her 6 weeks. The next week, the bottle was empty. And I called the doctor right then and there, and I said, I'd like to take her off this prescription for now. If we need to come back to it, we will. But I explained to him the situation, and he goes, 100% agree. I think she's ready for it. And I took her off the medication, and we've been doing behavioral and routine treatment ever since. And because of that, I'm able to do that with myself. And if you didn't know, it's hard for ADHD people to form habits. Well, ignore my smoking habit. That's an addiction. That's completely different. It is hard for people with ADHD to form habits. So instead, you have to do routine. And strict routine. Speaking of habit, mine just fell out of my pocket. So that's my whole 4 a.m. wake up. I like it because I get time to myself. I can focus and da-da-da-da. But Sam, it's every morning she gets up, she feeds the cats. And I hate to say, if that was her only routine, why'd I pour out so much for just one? If that was her only routine, that would actually be enough to kickstart her day. But the problem is, when you get on routine, if your routine is thrown off, like mine was yesterday, and also today, I didn't wake up at 4 this morning. I forget when I woke up, but it was like 8 or something, 7 or 8. But when your routine's thrown off, it throws you off. It just does. You get mood swings, you get cranky. That's been my hardest thing, is to change my nighttime routine. Because even though I'm waking up at 4 o'clock consistently, I'm not going to bed at a consistent time. Some days I'll go to bed at 8:30, others 9:30. Tonight it'll be probably 11:30. It's currently 11 o'clock. You know, so that's what I'm saying. What color am I looking for? Oh. I need to get that nighttime routine down, but, it's hard. The thing is, FOMO is real when you have ADHD. FOMO is real, period. And I'll get everything situated to where I'm going to bed at a decent hour, and then Friday will come along. You don't know anything about Friday in the diamond painting community? It's when Mrs. Coffee goes live on YouTube. And then afterwards, she does a community game night. Not this week. This week, just going live on YouTube. And tomorrow is a 12-hour stream on Twitch. And I'm going to be there. Almost put that in the wrong hole again. Anywho. And so, I kind of have like this fear of missing out. And so, I'll stay up late for that. It's only been recently, like starting last night, where I was able to step away. Like, okay, I don't need to be up all night watching these videos. Because 1, she has VODs, and 2, it's okay to miss out on some things. It's trying to getting that FOMO gone. It's okay to say, I don't need to be here for everything. And right now I'm also dealing with some social anxiety stuff. Like, I feel like I wouldn't be missed if I were to disappear. And that's not like being like thinking of other things. That is talking about in people's Twitch chats and their live stream chats and all that. Because I completely left a community about 6 months ago, and nobody has noticed me gone. And this is why I feel like I'm not part of the diamond painting community, because, look, I completely stopped going into a stream and nobody noticed. And this is when I was actually social in and everything else, which I think that's what really bothered me, is I'm completely social, and then I completely disappear, and nobody notices. Does that mean I'm going to go back into the stream and get social and everything else? No. Because I stepped out of that stream because of the fact that I just didn't have time anymore. I'm not going to be staying up all hours of the night. And it's also bad timing for me. So, I just stopped going in it, and then I'll sit there and I'll talk in a community chat, and it's like I don't exist. So, yeah. So, I decided that I'm not going to become part of any diamond painting community, and I don't consider Mrs. Coffee's community a diamond painting community. I think it's more about crafting, art, creativity, because it includes gaming and everything else, and it's like, yes, I feel welcome there. And I also feel that if I were to stop coming online tomorrow, somebody would ask where I am in a week. Like, hey, has anybody seen Keona? The reason why I know this is every week, Miss Coffee goes, has anybody seen Violet? She's been looking for Violet. I'm not saying I'm as big of a community member as Violet, but, you know, who's gonna sit there and test the auto mod? By the way, auto mod is fully trained now. You can say almost anything. And it'll only get you if you're being hurtful. Yeah. I worked hard on that. I'm not as inappropriate. We've talked about this. I am not as inappropriate as it makes sense. I am a fucking angel. Sierra and I are angels together. And Gemini and I are partners in the Lord's work. We're all doing the Lord's work. I would tell you exactly what that's about, but if you're not part of Mrs. Coffee's Twitch stream, I'm sorry. What happens on Twitch stays in Twitch. That's not true, because she brought it up in her live, but that's besides the point. I'm like, but Mrs. Coffee, I'm an angel over here. They don't know me yet. It's y'all. YouTube has rules. Rules, man. I think I might actually be able to finish this. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I spilled some. That's fine. We'll pick it up. There's an algorithm that you have to please. I mean, we're talking about pleasing things, right? It shouldn't be that hard. You know? It's kind of funny. Speaking of. Speaking of. It's not as bad as you think. Did anybody see, I don't know if this is like legit or not, and I really hope it is, but Google is coming out with like an AirTag equivalent, and they named it a spot, so it's literally called a G-spot. The joke's coming out about this right now, or at least a few weeks ago when it was announced. Like I said, I don't know if it's real, because it's just on the internet, and hello TikTok, but yeah, the joke's about how only 50% of the population will be able to find it. Are you trying to discriminate against men? They don't know what a G-spot is. It's great. It's great. It's great. And I'm sitting there thinking, if your man can't find your G-spot, you need to explain it to him. And if he can't figure it out after you've explained it to him, I'm sorry. I have nothing. And that is all I'm going to say about the Google G-spot. You notice how I put the Google in front of it? Yep. I keep hitting my tweezers. You hear it popping? What else happened this week? Oh, I broke my nails. Well, I broke two nails. My middle finger and my ring finger on my left hand. And normally I would just cut them all off, or cut the two that I broke off. Well, now my hands show up on camera, so what's it going to be like with two short nails and all long nails? So I did it. I sacrificed the nails. And now I don't want to paint them, and they're starting to mess up. And I'm like, no. They're not long. But I'm gonna have to repaint them. Right now, I'm trying to get ahead of all content. Like, I'm only ahead by, I have the unboxing film for next week. That's what I mean by I'm only ahead. I got an idea. I do have an idea for Wednesday videos. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to start that this Wednesday or not, but I do have an idea of a whole little series thing, because I work well with series. And if that goes well, I do have videos planned for Wednesdays. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? Maybe more bonus unboxings. I do need to kit up. I'm not a craft hoarder. But Keona, you're not done with magic potion. You shush. You shush. I will have as many whips as I want. You know how many whips I have right this second? I got 2. This and the mystery painting. But I also have bubbles kitted up. I have 2 kitted up right there. 1, 2, 3 kitted up over there. So yeah. You mind your own. You mind your own. Yeah. I'm a serial kidder. I'll admit it. But when I finish the current D12 series, I do have another paint gym, but I'm going to hold off on that because I want to do bubbles, and I'm going to do that as a D12 series possibly, so I have to redo the numbers. So I'm going to scratch them all out and put 1 through fucking 12. Then, whatchamacallit? Then I want to do I'm Not a Craft Hoarder because I did the math for the sections, and it's going to be 12 again, so boom, 12. 12, 12, 12. And then the paint gem I have is Black Magic, which would go great alongside with this. So I'm going to have to do that. I don't know if I'm going to do it between Bubbles and I'm Not a Craft Hoarder, or between the Love Edition and Bubbles. I don't know. I'll get so much TikTok content built up that it's going to be like nothing, because I am going away for a week at the end of March. Opening weekend, baby. Well, it's weird calling it opening weekend when it's on a Thursday. I'm going down to Miami. I'm going down to spend some time with a friend. Then I'm also going to see the Mets play the Marlins because I'm a Mets fan. I like New York. If you didn't know, I lived in New York for a couple years. I did. It was great. I lived in New York for a couple years, and I've regretted leaving for the past 18 years. Yeah, I moved out when I was 18, and now I'm 36. So I've regretted leaving New York for 18 years, and I love New York. I love the atmosphere. I love the weather. I love the fact that you don't have a million allergens trying to kill you all year round. You know what I mean? So, my football team is Dallas Cowboys. Will always be, because I picked that when I was a little girl. My basketball team is San Antonio Spurs. Will always be, because I picked that when I was a little girl. But I did not have a baseball team. And then I didn't start watching baseball until last season. So, what am I going to go with? Well, maybe you should do Atlanta Braves because you live so close to Atlanta. Shut up, Karen. No, not Karen. We're going to call you Sally. Shut up, Sally. No. I'm going to go with the area I want to be in. I want to be in New York. And I don't want to be in, like, New York City, New York. There's nothing wrong with New York City, but I lived in Putnam and Dutchess County, which, if you didn't know, that is in the Hudson Valley region of New York, just north of the city and just north of New Jersey. And it is beautiful, and it's what I love up there, and that's where I want to live again. But it costs money, and I don't have money. I think Putnam County is cheaper to live in than Dutchess. I'm trying to remember. Was it Putnam? I lived in 2 different cities on the east side of the river, and I lived in Nanuet on the west side of the river. So I'm trying to remember all the counties. I think Putnam's on the east side of the river, so there's another county for Nanuet area. And I just can't think. I'd ask the Echo, but yeah, he's been muted. Huh. Huh. Rock? Rock, rock, rock. I'm getting rock in my head. So, rock something. Rockland? Maybe? Now it's gonna bother me. Hold on. Hold that thought. Where's my phone? My phone is right next to me. That makes this easier. Google. Nanuet, New York County. Rockland. Look at that. I was right. So I lived in Putnam, Dutchess, and Rockland counties. There were 3 counties I lived in. Sorry, I'm doing a little happy dance because I remembered. Oh no, I spilled them again. This has kind of been like a boring WIP Chat, hasn't it? I'm sorry. On the bright side, we're about to finish column 5. Let's go. That means I'll get to start tomorrow on column 6. Let's go. I think I'm going to start early in the morning. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to render this tonight because it's going to be just like freaking Monday. I'm going to render it in the morning. No, it's going to be like Tuesday night where I went and I finished the video and then I went to bed. Yeah. Because it is stupid o'clock. I am falling asleep. Like, I'm sucking on this coffee and it's not doing nothing for me. Look at how much is left. Have I really drank any out of it, though? Have I? Again, that goes back to ADHD. ADHD. I'm gonna start calling myself the ADHD crafter. Unless that name's taken. Actually, if that name's taken, I wouldn't know. So, it doesn't matter. It's not like it's in malice. I'm the ADHD diamond painter. Yeah. Teaching y'all to cope with ADHD. With my reminder journal. It's never gonna work. Yeah, I don't have faith in it. I don't have faith in nothing. Look. I am 36 years old, and I still hold it until I absolutely have to go. Which sucks. I don't know why I'm this way. It sucks even more because of the fact that I have scar tissue. Hold on. I hear them in the kitchen. Being loud. So I have scar tissue, and it hurts when I hold it. So I don't hold it that often. But ADHD is still like, yeah, wait till the very end. You're like, okay, Keona, you are sick. Nobody asked you to talk about this. Well, you know what? Suck it, nerd. I'm going to talk about anything and everything. My kids have started getting an allowance. All 3 of my kids have bank accounts. I have nothing to do with Joshua's account because he doesn't live here. He lives with my husband. So I'm not going to give him money when I don't know exactly if he's earning said money. Now, I have an agreement with the other 2 that they have to do everything that was asked of them that week. They got to do all their chores, they got to keep their routine. Michael cannot miss the bus. And basically, they get $10 a week. But they get paid bi-weekly. They get paid the day after my husband gets paid. So I can just transfer it from there. So, if you mess up once in a week period, you lose that week's pay. It doesn't get deducted it doesn't get deducted in sections. It's gone. So Michael lost his $10 this week because he had to be taken to school. And so that's why they also get paid on Fridays and not on actual payday. So it has the full week. And at the same time, they're now getting money in their bank accounts and they're asking to spend money on this, that, whatever. And they're getting that freedom. Like Sam used to always ask me for Robux. Well, now she gets $20 every 2 weeks because she makes sure she goes above board. Again, that ADHD thing. It's her form of dopamine. She's always chasing the dopamine just like I am. And, so she's being responsible with it. At the same time, she's like being irresponsible. Like, oh, this is play money. But I want it to last a while, so I gotta make the play money. I have to stretch the play money. While her allowance she gets from my mom, because my mom also gives the kids $5 a week, which if I'm giving them a little bank allowance, I don't see why she needs to give them a $5 allowance, but okay. Okay. Completely separate thing. That's grandma. This is mom. And so they spend that allowance. The cash, they spend immediately. It's gone. Just doesn't exist. Now, Michael doesn't have full access to his bank card. I have it because he doesn't have a wallet. So he has to ask to borrow it and everything else. And he found out today that he can go to the ATM and take a $20 bill out and only get hit with a $3 fee. And then that $3 fee comes back in 3 days. He's like, what? So, yeah. My goal is that they learn budgeting and responsibility at the same time. I'm also not having to shell out for stupid things like, I want to get crayons today. You know? I mean, I'm not going to sit there and throw my kids out the window. Right now, I'm sitting there thinking about putting Josh on a budgeting plan to where I give him money, and this will cover his shampoo, his conditioner, his body wash, and all that. And he has to budget that money. That's a whole nother thing, and he's 16, so it's different. Just cleaning it up. I forgot to spill the trash for the other video. Oh well. The wrong way. Look at that. We got a whole section done. Either way, I have talked your ear off for long enough. I'm going to spill my trash out. Holy shit, I had a lot of trash in that section. Get out of there. I have talked your ear off long enough, and will see y'all in the next video. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Tell me how you've been this week. If you stuck around for the whole thing, leave. No, I'm not gonna do emojis. Let's talk about how, if you got allowance or not. Let me know if you got allowance or not when you were a kid. Yeah? And how you feel about the whole idea of these kids getting allowance when they've done nothing. Nothing! Oh no, I dropped the tray. No! Anyway, y'all have a wonderful time zone, and I am going to get out of here. See y'all in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and be awesome. I'm out. Bye.